Do. Let's go! Bam! Bam! All right. Barry over here. Okay. I just woke up a little while ago. I just had my breakfast. I took my vitamins. Let's go. Welcome in, everybody. Give us a second here, and we will be discussing the new One Piece chapter 1152. This was a long one. This was a long chapter. It has been a while since we've had one this long, really. Like, I even remember when I was reviewing it, I was like, I don't know, like a good 30, 35 minutes into it. Like, I was like almost like to the point where I would be normally wrapping it up for a normal chapter. And it's like, yeah, we're not even into the flashbacks yet. That flashback, like, because a decent number of stuff happens before we even get to Loki talking about his crybaby backstory, you know? And then at that point, it's like, okay, here's the backstory. Oh, by the way, another flashback at the end of that flashback. So, welcome in, everyone. We got a lot of stuff to discuss with. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Shepherd will prevail. I don't know. Maybe a giant sandworm will appear in Elbaf at some point. I don't know. That's a good place to start off. Which of the Gorosei is your favorite, and do you want to see actually kill a Straw Hat? Let's start there. Let's start there. If the Gorosei were going to win this, you know, I mean, probably my favorite in terms of just the like the yokai they transform into is probably Ethan Baron. Ethan Baron Venus Juro. I think he's a lot of people's favorite, also because he has a Katetsu sword, which also does change size when he gets bigger, so that's fascinating. It's the same logic as, like, with clothing, I feel, in One Piece, and also Odin. People pointed out that, like, okay, Odin was huge. Odin was, like, 3 meters tall or some shit. Hold on, let me check really quick how big Odin was. Odin he was a tall guy. He wasn't like a giant or anything, but he was tall. No, he was about 3 meters tall. He was about 12 feet 6 inches. All right, so a 12-foot man using those swords, Enma and Anmei no Habakiri, there's no way that he could, like, reasonably use swords like that, and then Zoro, who's, like, half his size. Zoro's, like, 6'2" or something. There's no way that Zoro's using those swords. So it's like, no, it's like with clothing, it changes to the Haki of the use of the user or whatever, you know what I mean? How many feet is 3 meters? It's like, okay, a meter is roughly equivalent to a yard, right? Like, you know, because, like, that's 382 centimeters, that's 3.82 meters, 12 foot 6 inches is equivalent to that. So, like, you do the rest of the map there, I suppose. Oh, man. Can you do a timeline of major things that happened from 109 to 14 years ago? Yeah, so I was actually starting to do that. Let's I guess, start there. Let's go over to the timeline. I was really happy about this chapter just because I got to go check the timeline, right? So I went over to the timeline, and nothing has happened, like, 109 years. Like, this is the only thing we know about that has happened 109 years ago, like, exactly, is the flashback that started in this chapter with Harald stomping around destroying that kingdom, okay? So, and he became, I guess, the king of Elbaf 109 years ago, right? So, yeah, like, there's just not really a lot of stuff in terms of, like, story events around that time. A lot of characters are born, but we have, you know, Dr. Kureha was born 141 years ago. Saul was 127. Sarume, the Kraken, was born 120 years ago. At 116 years ago, the people of Flevance discovered the amber lead, but the government realizes it's poisonous or toxic to the human body, but they decide just to keep it a secret and not, you know, divulge that information for the sake of the profit of making the materials out of the lead. 113 years ago, Caramel begins her job as a slave trader under Mountain Witch. 107 years ago, Clover is born, and then Higurashi and Semimaru are born shortly thereafter, the members of the Kurozumi family that helped Orochi get to power. Dory and Bragi begin their duel on Little Garden. 100 years ago is when the whole thing with Carmel and saving the giants from execution at Marineford happens, and then she establishes the sheep's house or the lamb's house. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The fact that Kureha is 30 in this flashback. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, holy shit. Kureha would be, hold on, 10, 20. Yeah, no, she would be like 32. She's like my age. Kureha is my age in this flashback. That is so weird. Oh, that was so weird. So was Harold 126 years old? Yeah, we could calculate that with math. So if he was 45 109 years ago, 45 plus 109, he's 154. Well, okay, but you then have to subtract 14 when he was murdered. So he was 140 when he was killed. All right, there you go. There you go. Oh, man. There's going to be a lot of numbers in Elbaf, I feel. I need to go back to school for math. Yeah. We're going to see Hiruden and Loki's moms. Yeah, we're probably going to see some moms. We're probably going to see a giant mom. Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of want to see Kureha. Like, I want to see, like, Kureha back in the day. I don't know if it'll be relevant at all. Like, for some reason, we cut over to Drum Island for no reason. Well, we actually don't know. Kureha has lived for so long. We have actually no idea if she lived in Drum Island all 141 years of her life. It's possible. Giant MILFs? I mean, we already have those. That's what Ripley is. You know what I mean? We already have that. Yeah. What about Mihawk did not teach Zoro about Conqueror's Haki? Okay, so the way I've always imagined the way that Mihawk taught Zoro things at Kurigana Island over the flashback, over the time skip, I feel like Mihawk was a very hands-off instructor. I feel like Mihawk did not spend like 8 hours a day training Zoro in the art of the sword. I think it was like, okay, go kill the human drills. All right, you did that. No alcohol until you figure out until you figure out armament Haki. All right, I'm gonna go inside and have some pie and drink some wine and do vampire things. Right? I have a feeling like that was the teaching style of Mihawk. I don't know what's that called, but it's like, yeah, he goes out, he tells Zoro like, you can't drink alcohol until you get armament Haki. And he knows Zoro's gonna follow that because Zoro's not gonna like, it's like, oh, screw him, I'll drink whatever I want. Like, he knows Zoro's personality and shit. So he's like, all right, he's really going to, that'll push him to get where he needs to be. So he goes back into the castle. And then after Zoro figures out armament, he goes back out again and be like, all right, now I want you to like, I don't know, level up your onigiri technique. And until you can cut that giant mountain, that Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas mountain with your sword, I don't want to hear I don't want to see you back in the castle again. You're not allowed to eat food until you do that. All right, bye. And he just leaves. Like, I can see him doing that. I do not see Zoro and Mihawk training at dawn every day, like in the freaking Karate Kid or something. I don't see that kind of stuff going down. By the way, I've never seen the Karate Kid, so I don't know if there's a scene like that. I've seen the remake with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. I've seen the remake, but I haven't seen the original with Ralph Macchio, I think. Yeah, I haven't seen the original. Oh, man. That withdrawal gave him observation on the spot. Yeah. Shanks is the child of destiny. Well, hold on for that right now because we got a $50 super chat from Out of My Mind. Elbaf! Loki was framed by Emu 14 years ago. Harold was absolutely Domi reversied. Luffy says this chapter he could tell Loki isn't bad. He knew Chopper fell. He knows Zoro was leaking conquerors. His voice of all things is upgrading. Yes, that seems to be the idea there. I mean, like, I don't think it's some kind of new ability. I think it's just his former abilities getting more and more finely tuned with that. But then in the regards to Harold being Domi reversied, that does seem to be the case. At the very least, it doesn't look like the guards were Domi reversied. It doesn't look like the guards were transformed and attacked him. It seemed like whatever happened. And the fact that Oda went out of his way to show Harold in silhouette, everybody else in that flashback was not in silhouette, but Harold was in silhouette for some reason. Like, what would be the point of doing that other than the fact that he was actually evil? Oh, did you see the new Tonkabon cover? I have not. I was thinking I was going to come out soon, though, because the new chapter is going to be, the new volume is going to be released July 4th. I think. So let's look that up. One Piece Wiki. I think it's volume 112, right? Oh, here we go. You said it was a sketch. Actually, I can't see it immediately. That's the old one. That's volume 111. Hold on a minute. Let me try this. Hyrudin will get conquerors. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Is this it? Oh, that is cute. Oh, my God. Hold on a minute. If this is what I think it is, this is great. Hold on. Yeah, I think this is the official Weekly Shonen Jump. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at this. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I love that he's focusing on the new Giant Warrior Pirates. I kind of really like the new Giant Warrior Pirates, and I really hope they get to do stuff in this arc. I really hope they're not just on, like, Muma duty. I hope they don't just show up to the Sun Lair, and the only reason they're there is to fight the nightmare creatures. I really hope there's something else going on here with them. And so you got Saul there, and you got Gerd, and Hyrudin, and Goldberg, and Rode, and Stanson. That's really cute. I like that cover. I really like that one, yeah. Oh, my God. So, anyway, yeah. I mean, the easiest solution to this is given the fact that we've already learned about how Domi Reversi worked and that Harald had a summoning circle in his throne room. Emu was probably negotiating, doing stuff with him, and then eventually maybe Harald was backing off on it a little bit, like, I don't know about this, Emu. And then all of a sudden, Emu is like, Domi Reversi. Also might have something to do with Jarl talking about, like, I like older women kind of thing, right? And then he gets, by the way, that sword that was impaled, I think we already knew that because we saw the painting in the castle with Harald and his sword, but it was Harald's sword that impaled Jarl. I mean, like, I think we already kind of knew that one. Okay, if time dilation was true, wouldn't Jarl have been around during the Void Century, or his parents at least, sitting on Elbaf while multiple centuries passed? So it seems to me that, yes, time dilation is occurring on Elbaf. However, there may be a few caveats to that. So, first of all, it was Gabon talking to Shanks about this. And he's like, when was the last time we saw each other, Shanks? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? And Shanks is like, dude, it's been like a decade. And he's like, oh, really? Must feel longer to you. Okay. It might be a thing that only affects not only affects humans and doesn't affect giants. All right, that might be a thing. And it might not be like an actual messing with the space-time continuum. It might just be how you perceive time, okay? Because let's go back really quick, and I want to quote Louis. I want to quote Louis Leclerc. Say I am Louis Leclerc. I died. Did I die? I don't remember if Louis Leclerc died. I know versions of him died. Oh, wait, no, yeah, Louis died. William kind of killed him by accident. Yeah, that's true. All right, hold on. Let's pull up the quote from Louis here. What chapter was that? It was somewhere around here. Adventure in Elbaf, maybe. I think it was after they got out of the city. Yeah, right here. Oh, I nailed it. Chapter 1132. Nailed it on the first try. All right, yeah. Dude, somebody give me something that happens in One Piece. I'm going to see if I can, like, pin it down to the exact chapter number. Okay, right here. So, Louis Larnote is talking about humans visiting Elbaf. Him visiting Elbaf. Let's see. There's a big quote from this. This is a long quote. All right. It is a sight of such enormity that it stuns all visitors. He's mentioning visitors especially, probably humans. Most fail to find words that adequately describe its immense grandeur. They call it the Kingdom of Warland. It resides on a massive isle of Elbaf. Hence, its more common moniker is Elbaf, the land of the giants. From the mighty trees to the gentle flowers, from the sea to the sky to the land, all life on this particular island is so huge it takes one's breath away. To those who seek adventure, I concede it would be a shame to turn away from this marvelous land. However, if nothing else, I implore you to keep this one piece of advice in the back of your mind. Should you venture out and arrive on Elbaf's vast and mysterious soil, heed my simple warning. If I can only write one thing about this enticing nation, it would be this. Do not linger there for too long. Adventurer Louis Arnold. Okay, he makes a very, very elaborate point to say, if you are visiting Elbaf, if you are not a native giant, if you are visiting Elbaf, do not stay here for long. Now, that might be because all of the wonders of Elbaf might entice you to never leave. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Gabon, sort of. If you do stay in Elbaf for too long, you might meet a giant woman, and you'll never want to leave. It might be something like that. It's been the end of many of an adventurer's adventure. Gabon waited until the end of his adventure to go to Elbaf, so he was like, well, I've already found the One Piece. What else is there for me to do? I'll retire to Elbaf, I suppose. So it might be just something that affects humans, in which case giants, like, so some people brought up, I saw a comment this morning, actually, when I woke up, that was like, if that time dilation thing was accurate, wouldn't Dory and Broggy be aging differently because they spent 100 years on Little Garden? Giants might age normally no matter where they are in the world, but humans on Elbaf, for whatever reason, it messes with your senses. Yeah. I'm not really sure how it'll go, and Oda's probably going to make it make sense. I hope. What is the top realm in Elbaf? The top realm is the heaven realm, or the astral realm. We have not been there yet, and we know shit about it. We know that it exists, that's all. And we know that it uses the kanji for, like, heaven. But that's it. Yeah. If time is really 3 times slower on Elbaf, I guess it would be kind of exponential the longer you're there. 1 week is just 3 weeks, not a huge difference, but 10 years is 30 years. Yeah, exactly. And Gabon was there for like 3 years or 4 years or so, and it felt like 10, or it was 10 on the outside world. Also, the fact that Emu showed up and was like, what is taking so long? It's like, when you really think about it, Killingham and Summers and everybody, they were only on Elbaf for like, what? Like a few hours, like maybe half a day at best, but even then, that's a little bit excessive. I think it was less than that. It really only seemed like a few hours, and Emu is already, like, Emu is either the most impatient human being ever, maybe not even a human. Emu is the most impatient devil god ever, or there's some time dilation shenanigans going on. Yeah. Why time dilation affect Gabon? Age, he should be younger. I mean, we don't know how old Gabon is. That's the thing. If there is something weird going on with the way that humans' bodies react to Elbaf, right? So thank you, Jack. I appreciate your endless dedication for OP content. Yes, it is OP as in One Piece. It's also OP as in it is overpowered. It's overpowered content. Okay, anyway. So we have like a situation now where there would be how old Gabon is chronologically, like on the outside world, and then how old he would be like biologically, right? So Gabon looks like an old guy. He looks like, in terms of age, around Rayleigh, but we don't know how old he is. We know he's younger than 80, but that's it. But he might be saying younger than 80 from his perspective. Like, we don't know exactly how this works, if he spent like the last 24 years in Elbaf or some shit, right? There's not a lot of connection to the outside world for Gabon, and everything moves slower there. Think of elves in fantasy. Yeah, I don't know how Oda's going to couch it. Like, if there's going to be an actual, like, time and space bend around the atom tree or something. It's like a magic tree that literally does warp time. Or if it's just the perceptions. I don't know. Gunko's feet. Oh, okay. I mean, that take that up to Oda. I don't know. Like, maybe the next time we show up, it'll be a weird shot of Gunko sitting on a throne and we'll see her feet. I don't know. That's up to that. I mean, we already saw Summers' feet. Maybe that's why they said that, because Summers' feet were very prominent when he showed up. I want to see Killingham's feet, to be honest with you. We saw his hooves in the last chapter. Oh, man. Tekking, you are my goat. Your One Piece vids give me life. Thank you. Thank you, Versa. All right. So, yeah, that's how that goes. We don't really know how time dilation works, and Oda will probably explain it. Do you think, if time dilation shit is going on here, if it can also happen in Marijois? Because there's 2 giant trees in the One Piece world. One of them is the Mother Tree Eve, which is at Fishman Island and kind of goes up through the Red Line and Marijois. And the other one is the Yggdrasil, is the Atomwood tree. So, I don't know. From Mo. I'm a pure Usopp fan, and all I want is for him to get Loki's hammer. You started off talking about weapon size change, 20-ton hammer. Look, I'm not arguing the fact that Usopp might be able to pick up a giant hammer. Like, he's already picked up. He can, like, we've already seen canonically. Hold on, let me show you something really quick. Hold on. Let's see, which one am we in? It's like, oh, the one, Perona. Oh, I see. I still have the thing turned on. All right. All right, here we go. Oh, good. It's a JPEG image, too. What do you call this? What do you call this? That looks like Usopp lifting a 10-ton hammer to me. So I have zero problem with Usopp lifting up Ragnir, but he needs to be in the position to lift up Ragnir. He needs to be near the damn hammer to lift it up. What are these people saying this is a balloon? Excuse me. Oh my god, do I really have to do this? Okay, hold on. It's fine. Hold on a minute. Oh, that's a weird file. That's a VF file. Okay, here we go. This might work. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. This is a balloon. All right, here we go. On the left, we see a balloon. Fun at children's birthday parties. Also Pride festivals. I was at a Pride festival yesterday. There were a lot of balloons. But anyway, then we have a hammer. The hammer is over here. It's really big, but it's also very different. A balloon cannot be a hammer. Hold on. Let me add something else here. Okay, does this work? Is this going to be just a... Okay, that's a PNG file. Okay, here we go. Boom. Balloon does not equal hammer. There you go. You talking about math. That's the closest thing to math you can get right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Balloon does not equal hammer. Yeah, there we go. It's an inflatable hammer. What do you think Gabon told Sanji? I think, honestly, Gabon did say something to Sanji about him unlocking Conqueror's Haki. All right? Sanji will unlock COC. Sanji will unlock his... I should put an image of, like, a rooster right here. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like, Roger, Rayleigh, and Scopper all had Conqueror's Haki. So is it really that ridiculous to think Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji will also all unlock Conqueror's Haki? Yeah, I don't see that. I do see that. I do see that, yeah. What about Nami? You know what? Fine. Nami gets Conqueror's Haki too. You know what? At this point, I just want a lot of the Straw Hats to get power-ups that they should have had already. Frankie should have had, like, Sea Prism weapons, like, a few arcs ago. All right? Fine. Give Frankie Conquerors. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Do you think Gabon can see Sanji's? Oh, maybe he can. I don't know. You're so close, Sanji. You're so close to unlocking it. How do you feel about Jarl being at 890? Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? I don't mind that. How do you think she beats the shit out of Luffy all the time? I would say comedic effect, but that can't be it. That can't be right. Yeah, but you're an Usopp fan. I wish you the best. I feel sorry for you, but I wish you the best. It must be rough being an Usopp fan right about now. Like, seriously, honestly, like, my favorite Straw Hats are Frankie and Robin. But if my favorite Straw Hat was Usopp, I'd be kind of sad or really pissed off right now. Like, I kind of would be. You know, yeah. I'd like to think Gabon was only able to notice Sanji's when he got closer. Or maybe he even said, like, hey, kid, you remind me a lot of myself back in the day, but maybe you can unlock your Conquerors someday as well. You know, maybe it was something like that, because Sanji and Gabon are very similar to one another, right? Do you think the Straw Hats will physically grow into their superhuman bodies, like the Admirals and Doflamingo? Oh, like they actually, like Nami grows, like, you know, like a few feet, or like, well, Frankie and Brook are already really tall, but like, you know, the fact that they're huge, like how big is, who is the tallest Admiral? Let's start with that. Time for a competition of size. Okay, Akainu is 10 feet exactly. He's 10 foot even. Kizaru. I feel like Kizaru would be the tallest. Kizaru, no, is 9'11". Okay, so right now Akainu is the tallest. Kuzan is 9'9¼ So Akainu is still the tallest. Fujitora. Fujitora is 8'10". So he's the shortest right now. Green Bull. Aramaki, I guess. Aramaki is... Oh, he's 10'1". Aramaki is 1 inch taller than Sakazuki. And then finally, we have... No, that's all of them. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could look at Sengoku. Yeah. Sengoku is 9'1". Okay, so the tallest admiral is actually Aramaki. It's actually Green Bull. And then with a 1 inch difference is then Akainu. Who'da thunk it? Yeah. Let's see here. My running theory is that okay, hold on a second. Okay, my running theory is that was after the Forbidden Fruit of Elbaf. Oh, Eam was after the Forbidden Fruit of Elbaf, which I think was the Nika fruit, or at least they thought it was. And then when Loki claims to be Nika, he may have had the Sun fruit. It's possible. Not really sure who the individual was that stole the legendary devil fruit, you know? The implication it was that it was Loki. But now, like, did Loki ever talk about having the legendary devil fruit? Did Loki ever say, I am Loki, I have the legendary devil fruit? He never said that. He just said, like, I am the sun god and I have the power to destroy Elbaf. That's all he was saying. He was, like, yelling that shit, right? But if from the perspective of the people of Elbaf, they go and they find that, wait a minute, the devil fruit is missing, Loki killed Harald, and Gabon and Shanks can collaborate that information, and they just assumed Loki must have eaten it. Yeah. Yeah, Loki never even mentioned to have a fruit. What's the schedule at Tecco? So I'm going to be there, I think, all 4 days, yeah. Friday, which is, I think, the 19th, is when my first panel is going to be. It's going to be a Q&A panel, and then Saturday is going to be the trivia panel, which I have the ridiculous suit for. I also have to get some prizes for that, and I have 100 clipboards I need to sort for that, so that's going to come up, and so that'll be Friday and Saturday will be my two big events there. He was chained up with Sea Prism, but the thing is, like, Sea Prism is just, like, this indestructible metal in the One Piece world, so, like, it doesn't matter if they're a Devil Fruit user or not. Chaining them up with Sea Prism to make sure a super strong giant doesn't escape is probably a good idea, like, regardless of whether or not they have a Devil Fruit ability. If you want to make really good... Why the Sea Prism? Well, because they want to make damn sure he doesn't leave. The giants might actually think he has the Devil Fruit, but even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. He's not breaking Sea Prism. It's just too strong. Yeah. The Sea Stone weakened him. Did it weaken him, though? Do we know that the Sea Prism weakened him? He said, did he say it, or did he not? Or I don't know. Yeah, we'll upload the quiz. We could do that, yeah. Yeah, when did it say? We can look it up. We can look it up. But did Loki ever say, these chains are weakening me because I have a devil fruit power? Yeah, he used lightning when he was free, yeah, so that's more about him picking up the hammer. Maybe the hammer has the devil fruit power. Shanks set him up. Oh, Shanks set him up. It's an inside operation. Poll to call Aramaki Ryokyugyu. Well, I'm going to say Aramaki because that's easier for me to say. Do you think it's out of character for Luffy to get upset over Shanks? Okay, yeah, let's talk about that shit. Okay, so there's two angles of this I want to approach it at. Okay, so the first thing, Luffy does seem to be super focused on Shanks right now, and I think the major issue is not Luffy getting mad over people shit-talking Shanks. That actually does make sense when you go back, and I had to, like, reread that little exchange. We'll get to that in a moment. The big issue here is Luffy should really be going up to help his crew right now. Like, he should be really going up to the Sun Lair with Zoro and Sanji and the other members of the new Giant Warrior Pirates. Instead, Luffy is deciding, wait a minute, Loki's going to talk about Shanks. Guys, go on ahead. I'm going to stay here and listen to this. And it's like, Luffy, there's zero reason for you to stay down there right now. They will tell you about Shanks later. If Hiruden hears the story, Hiruden will tell you after all this bullshit is over. Okay? So, no, Hiruden staying makes sense because he has to let him go, and also this is his father they're talking about, all right? This is Loki and Hiruden's father that was murdered right in front of Loki, and Hiruden thinks Loki did it, and now Hiruden is like, what happened to our father? What happened to this land? You tell me, and you swear on every god we believe in, and you tell me the truth, Loki, okay? And so Hiruden staying behind makes sense. Gerd and Chopper and Scopper staying behind, that makes sense. It makes zero sense. Wait a minute, guys. I have to stay because they're going to talk about Shanks, and I got to hear that. And it's just like, Luffy, go and fucking save your crew. God damn it. You know, just like, it's not that important right now. They'll tell you later, all right? Luffy wants Loki to take with him. Yeah, Loki, well, they tell him Loki gets freed. He goes up. He goes up. That's all you do. Stayed to try and convince Hiruden to free Loki more than to hear about Shanks. I don't know. I'm getting the impression it was more about hearing about Shanks. And it's even what is like, yeah, I get they need Loki's help, but like, I don't know if, like Gabon is there who ordered Hiruden. Like, Luffy kept saying to free Loki over and over and over again. Hiruden was like, no, I'm not doing that. No way, not letting him go. And then Scopper spoke up and was like, hey, Hiruden, free Loki. And then Hiruden was like, all right, Loki, you got 3 minutes. You know, like, so they listened because Gabon was actually fucking there. Gabon was actually there and was one of the people that witnessed Harold getting murdered right in front of them and also probably like incriminating Loki at the time, right? Now Gabon is even like, I don't know, maybe me and Shanks missed something back then. I can't even believe what I saw now. Maybe things were a little different. Maybe we didn't get the whole story. And Hiruden was like, whoa, okay, even Yasan is beginning to doubt himself. All right, fine, Loki, you have 3 minutes. You know, it's like, all right, that's how it goes. But I don't think Luffy needs to be there. Now, when it comes to Luffy getting mad over Shanks to Luffy is like any female to Sanji or panties for Brook. Okay, that is fair. So that scene in the bar way back at the beginning, and the scene in Jaya as well, when Higuma poured the liquor over Shanks, right? And Shanks didn't care. He's like, don't make a big deal about it, right? The point of that scene overall, I suppose, was not really about don't worry about people shit-talking you. It's more about like, hey, Shanks did not care about being, made fun of himself because it's just himself. Like, who cares, right? But if Higuma would have, like, let's say, taken that bottle and poured it over Yasop or Lucky Roo or Ben Beckman, or if he went up to, like, Makino and, like, grabbed Makino and tried to kidnap her or some shit, then Shanks would have been like, okay, you're all dead. You know what I mean? That's the idea. I guess the idea wasn't so much about don't overreact to things, or it's like when people are shit-talking your friends, that's when you care. When people are just shit-talking yourself, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't give a crap, whatever. But if other people that your friends are being, threatened, and just like with Luffy when he got kidnapped, that's when, the gloves were off and, Lucky Roo shot a guy in the face point blank, So that makes more sense. I'm fine with that. But even so, I feel like Luffy needs to dial down like the Shanks tunnel vision at the moment a little bit. Yeah. He's not aware that his crew is captured. I'm pretty sure Chopper would have mentioned that. There's no reason why. I mean, I guess maybe Chopper didn't directly say that in the chapter, but it makes zero sense for Chopper not to say, guys, the Nami and everybody are tied up right now. They're captured. Robin tried to fight them and she got hurt. Like that. Like, why wouldn't Chopper say any of that? Of course he would have, How did Blackbeard scar Shanks when he has the Abyss mark? Yeah, fascinating about that, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So, I guess Blackbeard has a really strong... Wait, hold on a minute. Let me pull something up really quick. Hold on. Visual gag. Okay, here we go. I guess Blackbeard also's got some really strong conquerors Haki, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no other, like, the fact that Shanks doesn't have any other scars on his body, really, except the missing arm. Does a missing arm count as a scar? I don't know. Maybe the Abyss Mark is also the thing that gives you the immortality, which also kind of implies if you get the Abyss Mark ripped off your body forcefully, then you can't regenerate. That seems like an obvious weak point. I don't know. Or maybe Blackbeard is just unique and has some weird ability, which we already know he kind of does. Emu's power won't work on Luffy because he doesn't see himself as the sun god. Thoughts? Well, that makes sense. Also, the fact that just by the nature of the devil fruit, he might not be able to be changed. I like to think that if the black pieces are Emu, the white pieces on the reversey board would be Luffy, and then Luffy could change people back. Like, that would make more sense for, like, the parallels, like, you know, the yin-yang of this sort of dynamic here. That makes sense. Yeah. Let's see here. The Sea Kings have conquerors. Sure. Yes. The Lord of the Coast also had that. Yeah. The Lord of the Coast. He let Luffy punch him out. He let him do that. Maybe it wasn't Shanks with Scopper. No, it was Shanks. He had the scar. Unless it turned out it was actually Shamrock. Oh, by the way, do shamrocks, are they the 4-leaf clover or the 3-leaf clover? It is relevant. When a giant says he's 300 years old and never left Elbaf, does he talk about Elbaf time or normal time? Probably Elbaf time, so that would be 900 years in human time. Maybe, yeah, if that's the way time dilation works, sure. Both, 4, 3. It's like, all right. Well, I have both. I have a 4-leaf clover pendant, and I also bought a 3-leaf clover pendant yesterday. So I have both. A shake. Does Sea Stone work on Holy Knights? We haven't seen it be used yet. Yeah, we can go back to that. We can just, all the super chats are saved, so we can just go back through those here. Ta-da! Okay, time dilation, we talked about that one. Would watch Louis still be on Elbaf? That'd be great if Louis was just narrating the entire thing from his little cabin or something. Like time dilation, I answered that one. Do you think we will see more prominent characters join the Grand Fleet by the end of the story? I would love for Bon Clay to become an officer, and I could see Bellamy joining Bartolomeo for some reason. Yeah, I can see Bellamy and Bartolomeo vibing. I can see them hanging out. We got to see Bellamy again. He has the new flag that he has to introduce. Oh, that's actually going to be a really cool scene when the Grand Fleet gets all together for, like, maybe the final war, and they have a giant flag that Bellamy painted. That would actually be really fucking sweet to see. Yeah, Bon Clay needs to get out of Impel Down, and Bon Clay can then join the Grand Fleet. Absolutely. They can expand the Grand Fleet. I'm okay with that. Let's see. I answered that one. Do you think Luffy will change his view on Shanks after he learns he lost his arm to remove the ties with the Emu rather than being a sacrifice for Luffy? It can be both. It can be both. Like when Shanks said to Whitebeard, like, I made a bet on a new era. That could be what it is. It's symbolic, you know? It's just like, it doesn't just mean one thing. It's like he's leaving his past behind. He's picking the side, you know? Like Shanks is like, I have decided to be a pirate. I have decided to throw away my lineage as a celestial dragon, and I have decided to give it up for the sake of Luffy, and I will give my straw hat to him, and he will be a great pirate, and that's the dynamic he has chosen, okay? It can be both things. Do you think Blackbeard will be the first to reveal a Logia awakening, and we find out the admirals need permission awakening because they're so dangerous? That's actually kind of cool. I like that idea. The idea kind of like with the Espada in Bleach, if they're number 4 or higher, they can't go into the Resurrection without approval, or they have to be outside of Las Noches in order to do it. That would actually be kind of cool. Like, Kizaru can go into his awakening, but it would make sense if he didn't want to do that during Egghead, because they had to kind of save shit on Egghead. They had to make sure not to destroy the Mother Flame and the power plant and all that crap. So it would make sense that, like, Kizaru's awakening, he can do it, but it would literally cause, like, giant laser beams to rain down on fucking Egghead. You know what I mean? That might destroy the island, and it's like, that's not good. That won't work. Yeah. I would like that idea. I like that idea. Let's see. Do you think it's out of character? I answered that one. Shanks to Luffy is like any female to Sanji. Answered that one. Anyone can have Conqueror's Haki, being born with it. Just will to bring it out and training for years from Garp and Koshiro and maybe Zeph is my theory. I don't like the idea that, like, anybody can have Conqueror's Haki. Then again, it seems like the idea that, like, you're predisposed to armament or observation. Then again, I guess Luffy was, like, predisposed to have Conqueror's Haki. I don't know. I feel like it's not the thing that an ordinary person just living an ordinary life would be able to achieve. Like, I can see you being a farmer in the South Blue and awakening observation a bit. You know what I mean? Like, man, those radishes over there, I can sense them. You know, I could see that. You know, maybe you're a hunter somewhere and you unlock armament Haki. You don't have to live this crazy extreme life. I'd say the only way to unlock Conqueror's Haki is you have to be living this insane life as a pirate where you are literally on death's door like every fucking day. All right? Like, and then maybe you can unlock it. Maybe we can look into something like that. Yeah. Sanji fans in ruins. See, do you think Gunko might get disconnected from Emu? All the giants would want to kill her, but Brook allows her to be a prisoner and she's protected. If Gunko can break away from the control of Emu, I feel like she would just go over to Brook and just be like, Brook, it's me, Gunko, or the name she... Remember, Gunko just means army child. Doesn't seem like it might have been her real name. Gunko, I mean, like, Brook, it's me. Gloria. Remember me? Gloria? It's like, Gloria, yo! You know, it's just like, I don't know, and then they travel together. Gunko for Straw Hats. Yeah, we have to talk about Loki being a Straw Hat, too. Hold on, we'll get to that in a minute. I don't see your super chat here, dude. Loki said he knows how to fight the Holy Knights, though. It might have been because he got attacked by them earlier, and then Gabon said something about Conquerors, and that made Loki like, wait a minute, I have an idea now. I know how to fight them. Might have been something like that. Whoa. Got an influx. Whoa. Okay, there was like glitching out there for a second there. Let's see. Answered that one. Do you think Law's powers would naturally counteract the God's Knight's powers? Like teleportation and shit? I feel like the Abyss would still work in the room. Although, here's another interesting one, and I might make a video about this. Suru's Devil Fruit ability, the Wash Fruit, being the reverse of Domi Reversi. That... I don't know if it would work. I feel like maybe it would be, like, their souls are so tainted, even the laundry fruit can't wring them out. But, like... Maybe. There's a shot with Suru's power because Doflamingo was actually afraid of Suru's power. And if Doflamingo, one of the most evil motherfuckers in the story, was afraid of being, like, made a little bit good by the powers of the Wash fruit, that thing is legit, all right? So, yeah, it's possible. I still need to do the dad tier list. Yeah, it was Father's Day last week. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. If world government has a world map, what's Nami going to do? They won't have a world map. Yeah. Ever have a theory of how people will treat the Marines if the world government changes? I mean, the world government's going to stick around, the structure of it. That's what Dragon wants to do. It's just that the, what was I going to say? If the world government sticks around, the Marines are going to have to be reformed as well. Smoker's probably going to be the new fleet admiral, like, right now, because Kobe's like 18. I don't see Kobe becoming the new fleet admiral now, but later on he'll become an admiral, then he'll become the fleet admiral. Eventually, it'll just take a while, right? The Marines are going to have to go through a big reform, and the world government is, but yeah, I think eventually there's going to be some wariness for a little while, but you know, remember, a lot of Marines aren't horrible. A lot of the Marines are doing their job. It's just that there are some that are awful, right? And all those will have to be taken care of after, like, Smoker or whoever takes over. Maybe Fujitora can also stick around as an admiral. Maybe Fujitora becomes the fleet admiral right now at the end of the story because he's, like, you know, predisposed for it. And then we have Smoker as an admiral, like White Snake or something. And then eventually we get Kobe, like, years later. Do you think Tontada tribe can move super fast because time moves quickly for them? Maybe. They can already move really, really fast, I think. What if the way Sanji gets conquers Haki is he has to fully unlock his Jerma side. Now, I think we've already kind of explored enough of like the Jerma side of things with Sanji's abilities. He unlocked all those powers. I don't think his conquerors is going to have to deal with that. Have you seen the tattoo on X? Yes, if it's the one I'm thinking of that I saw, then yes. One of my friends is getting a tattoo coming up here, and my friend Kennedy is a tattoo artist, and she's really skilled with that. So I really am thinking about getting a tattoo. I was actually sitting down last night and being like, if I was going to get any tattoo on me, what would I fucking get? And I'm like, what is something I care enough about to get a tattoo? You know, because like I love One Piece, I do, but I just don't see myself getting like a One Piece tattoo, if that makes sense. I don't know. And that's not just with One Piece. That's like with any anime in general. Like I don't see myself getting a tattoo of like Frankie or Robin or like Ichigo or like Kenpachi or something. Like I just don't see that. I was looking at like some tattoos based because I love David Bowie, and I was looking at some tattoos there, and there was this guy that had a really cool Black Star tattoo because Black Star was last David Bowie album that he ever released. He died like a few days after it came out, and it's like his swan song. It's a really powerful album. If you haven't listened to it, please do. I was thinking about maybe getting that. It's like a really cool like Black Star with the lightning bolt on it because of like Ziggy Stardust. So like maybe I'll get that, but I don't know. But I think I did see your tattoo, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, it looked really sick. It was the sleeve, right? It looked really badass. Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. Psycho Killer. Kiss kiss say. Fa 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 fa. That's actually the basis for Killer's laugh. Fa 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 fa. Yeah, Killer right there. Yeah. Oh yeah, you say it in the fucking comment. You say it in the fucking comment. Yes, it is. That is the basis. That is the basis. Yeah. Berry tattoo. Get a berry tattoo. Oh man. Let's see. Get Sanji's eyebrow on your face. This is going to be weird. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Did I get the angle right? There we go. You got the angle wrong. It's like shit. All right. I have not read Tower of God, no. It wouldn't be the tattoo of Barry. Yeah, I should get like a tattoo of like Barry on my arm, and it's just like some really badass saying underneath it, you know? Like live or die kind of shit under Barry. And then I form a motorcycle game called The Berries, you know? Blackbeard ate Whitebeard's heart like Linlin ate Mother Caramel. Ooh. Well, we didn't see anything. We didn't see Whitebeard's body. In fact, they actually mentioned Whitebeard's body looked the same after. It didn't look like Blackbeard like ripped out his organ and ate him or something like that, right? His body looked fine afterwards when they pulled off the cloak. I think they actually mentioned like, yeah, Whitebeard's body looks the same. It doesn't look like anything changed, you know? So, yeah. I'm bricked up. Bricked up for days. You need to read Tower of God. I'll check it out, maybe. So by the way, we have some stuff here, some fan mail I need to open by the end of this, and also some stuff that I got from Japan that I've had here next to my chair for like a month that I haven't opened yet, or I haven't shown you guys yet, so I want to show you that kind of stuff by the end. But talking about the chapter still, because there's still a lot of stuff to discuss, let's talk about Loki joining the Straw Hats, because I kind of just like moved past that in the chapter because I knew I was going to make a video about it, and we could talk about it here a little bit. So Loki is like, you know, Luffy's like, hey, join my crew, and then you have to let him go. And Zoro and Sanji are like, no, we're not letting him join. You know, Zoro's like, he's too big for the ship, and Sanji's like, there's too much, we're not going to be able to have enough food for him. And even Loki is like, screw you, I'm not joining your crew, I'm not going to be anybody's underling. And I'm like, well, there's that. Anyway, moving on. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of people that were told that they can't join the Straw Hats, and they joined anyway, right? It's like, yeah, that's not bad. Loki's not joining. Let's go. Okay. So, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll and see where we're at. And I will be making a video about it as well. All right. Will Loki join the Straw Hats? Yes, no, taco. Yes, no, tacos. Man, I'm hungry for tacos. I could go for some tacos right now. Oh, man. Yeah. My sink is completely blocked. Try running hot water over it. If that doesn't work, you can actually buy these things called Plink. They're like at the grocery store. You can kind of just put them down in your sink. That'll also help a little bit. I think something like there's a lot of like home remedies to this shit, like using bleach and stuff. But at that point, I'm not really sure, depending on where your like situation is. I don't know if just pouring caustic chemicals down there's a good idea. But try running hot water under it for like a while, or maybe like even boiling water, like not just hot water from the sink, but actually getting like a pot of water and boiling it and then pouring it down the sink. That might actually help too. Teching 101 helps with plumbing problems. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, actually, I have tried that one before. It has worked for my sink, but yeah. You can also just remove the elbow thing and clean it. Just make sure to put some towels and buckets under there before you do that, because water's probably it's gonna get under the sink. Just get a bucket, get some gloves if you don't want to get all gunky and gooey, and then get some towels. You don't mind getting dirty. Get some shitty towels, put them under there, and the elbow trap and clean it out. You can also get that little snake thing that you can put into the drain. Yeah. Loki wears a blindfold to hide his true emotions. Yeah, I mentioned that in a video a while ago. Like, maybe the reason Loki, ever since he was a little kid, had that bandage was to kind of like, because you can read a lot of person's emotions and their what they're thinking through their eyes, like what they're looking at. Like, you can kind of look into someone's eyes and see some shit, right? And so maybe Loki was like immediately like, oh, well, we're gonna just make sure that's not a thing. Yeah. Any news on pizza issue? Oh, I solved it. Yeah. No, I did the I think that was 2 weeks ago. I did the thing with the parchment paper, and it worked really well. It worked really, really well. Yeah. And the pizza was delicious. Yeah. Oh man, it's looked like the poll, it's 38% yes, 38% no, and 24% for tacos. I think even if I did not put tacos on there, it would just be 50-50. Yeah. Yes, Vinland Saga is ending next chapter, which is not going to be this month. There's no chapter this month, which I'm very disappointed in. But then again, we have one more chapter left, so I guess we'll just wait until next month. It'll be around July 25th will be the last chapter of Vinland. I'm excited. I hope it's a long chapter, because I think there's a lot of things that need to be covered before we end it, but we'll see. Yeah, do not use a toilet plunger on the sink. I've never used a toilet plunger on a sink, but that doesn't look like a good idea. Sinks are not toilets. Yeah. I don't know, man. I want to know, so when did Shanks get the mark? If he was on Roger's crew for a while as a child, did he go back home? Yes, he went back home afterwards, is the idea. So Roger was killed. Shanks would have been 15, okay? So we don't really know much about Shanks from when he was 15 to when he was like 26 or 27 when he met Luffy. That's kind of a blank period that Oda can kind of just play with a little bit. We know he fought Mihawk. We know he got the scar. And now we know that he went back to Marijua and lived there for a little while. We do not know the order of those events. We do not know if he, started a rivalry with Mihawk and then he got the scar from Blackbeard and then he went back to Marijua, or if he went to Marijua and then he got the scar while he was out doing some stuff. It seems to be, though, that he did actually try to become part of the Celestial Dragons, like the Holy Knights, right? Like, he was like, oh, you are part of our family. You were kidnapped. You were taken from us by Roger when you were only a year old, Shanks. Come back home and live with us. And Shanks wasn't just like, fuck you, I'm not doing that, I'm a pirate. No, Shanks was actually like, oh, you're my real family. And now, maybe it was like, Shanks trying to find himself, like Roger, the only man he's ever looked up to as a father his entire life, is just dead. And now these other people are showing up saying that he is, the chosen one and he's the destined child and he's part of the Celestial Dragons. And he actually went back and tried to live with them for a little while. Yeah. That wasn't the mark of the Abyss. Maybe it doesn't have to be the exact same mark every time. I don't know. He did meet Yasop 22 years ago. That was in the Strong World Chapter 0. It's canon, but, like, I don't know how much canon. So we'll see where that goes. Can you show the drawing of the mark again? Yeah, I have it right here. So we have the mark that looks like kind of the zodiac symbol with the circle and then the perpendicular lines, and then we have the little hearts on the end of it. I mean, like, they really do look like hearts. Hold on, let me pull it up again. Give me a sec here. Teching my super chat. We'll get to the super chats. Don't worry about it. I want to alternate back and forth between the user chat and the super chat. But we'll bump back to that. Don't worry about it. If Frankie upgrades Sunny to Pluton, there'll be space for Loki. I really don't want the Straw Hats to have Pluton. I don't want the Straw Hats just like, we're going to make Pluton. I'd rather not that happen, but we'll see. Seems a little bit, and like Luffy even said, like, I don't really care about that. Like, you know, like Robin was like, I could tell you all about this ancient weapon shit we learned at Wano, and Luffy's like, I don't really care. I don't really give a shit. All right, let's see here. Shanks backstory. Let's see here. Enhance. Oh, wait, you know, actually, wait, I'll do it this way. Hold on. We're going to enhance this. It's like CSI. Enhance. Enhance. Yeah, it could be bones. It could be like the skull and bones, you know, kind of thing. Okay, that's an enhanced image. All right, here we go. All right. That's a heart, or at the very least, it's like the bones, or, you know, like the skull and like the cross bones you see on the Jolly Rogers and stuff like that, right? It's definitely a mark that we have never seen Shanks have before, and then it was also removed when Shanks had his arm bit off. It's not the Jolly Roger of the Red Hair Crew. That is something completely different. I can't think of anything else that it would be other than the Abyss mark. Yeah. Yeah. Summers has it. Summers does has it. It does has it. Summers does have it, but it looks a little differently on Summers, to be fair. Now, let me go over to the super chat a bit here. Let's go check that out. Fan funding. Okay. Do you think Zeph or Koshiro might have Conqueror's Haki? Somebody asked this about Zeph the other day. I don't think Zeph would have it. Koshiro is the son of Kozaburo. Kozaburo feels like he would have had it. Maybe Koshiro has it. I don't see Zeph having it. Unless Zeph has the Chef's Haki. The Chef's Conqueror's Haki. What do you think happened on Baltigo? Did Dragon and the Revolutionary Army have a prolonged battle with the Blackbeard Pirates? I think what happened is that they attacked, but Dragon has like a really good, like, in case this base gets discovered, we evacuate kind of shit. I think it was planned really well. So maybe some of the revolutionaries did clash with the Blackbeard Pirates. That doesn't mean that Dragon directly fought Blackbeard one-on-one. It just means that, like, enemy ships are approaching because Dragon would be very wary of that. Like, this is the home base of the revolution. Like, if they ever found out about it, he has to have a backup plan on how the fuck we're getting out of here, right? They might have had an underground base. They might have had tunnels. They might have had other ways to escape that place. They got out of it pretty easily. They managed to escape Baltigo very easily and get to Kamabaka. So, you know, like, I feel like that was Dragon's plan. I don't think Elbaf time is different, just perceived differently, and I'm calling this is due to Noro fruit. Oh, yes, the slow fruit that Foxy had. Maybe I should get a tattoo of Foxy on my arm. You know, it's just like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it might just be the way that Gabon was, the way that he viewed the time changing. But then again, that has less of an impact on the outside world, so I kind of want the time dilation to be a thing, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't want the Sunny to be Pluton. I'm not really a fan of that theory. You know, it also seems rather irresponsible for Frankie to do that. You know what I mean? Like, this is a thing that Tom passed down to him, and he burned the blueprints, even if he, like, memorized them and shit. It's like, I'm going to use this thing that's never supposed to be built, and I'm going to build it and turn it into the Straw Hat ship. It's like, I don't know, man. That seems a little bit excessive, unless they have to make it to fight against the other Pluton, I suppose, but I'm not sure. Could it be that Shanks was on Elbaf on that day to keep Gabon engaged during Harald's assassination. Oh, so you're really going with the, like, it was all a plan from the beginning. You know, Shanks is, wow, it's 38% dead even on the poll. Shanks was there to distract Gabon. The plot thickens. It's like, I don't know. There's a 1% margin of error with this poll, so it really was 38-38 when I stopped it. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, the D clan might be immune to it. That's the reason, you know, Emu didn't Domi reverse-y Cobra. The Eagles in Lord of the Rings. That the Eagles would not have worked in Lord of the Rings. There are many reasons for this, but the most notable one is Sauron had a fucking fleet of dragons. The Eagles would not have fucking worked. Sauron had an air force. I love it if Frankie could incorporate some of the features of Pluton. Yeah, I didn't want to build all of Pluton, but I did put the death laser on the Sunny. Like, okay, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, some people actually brought up, because I brought up, like, Frankie. I made a whole video last week about Frankie saving the day. Super, yeah, you know? So, if Frankie saves the day, what if Frankie fights against Killingham? Killingham uses his ability to, like, open up the dream bubble, and then he pulls out the memories of Pluton. Ooh. God's Knights would need more Conquerors users. Maybe they can't use Conquerors because of them being God's Knights or getting the Abyss. I'm not really sure how that works. Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles could be at Mordor. The Philadelphia Eagles just charge through, you know, to Mount Doom. Yeah. I have an insane theory that Rox went to Elbaf to steal Harald's family treasures. Destroyer Sun God fruit. And then Rox eats it on God Valley and becomes a false Awakened Zone. I explain more in my YouTube short. That's a really insane theory. That's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of moving parts. Thank you for the 20. Rox went to Elbaf to steal Harald's family treasure. I mean, are you talking about this happening, like, before God Valley, or are you assuming Rox is still alive after God Valley? Either way, it's fine. It's just that we don't know what Rox is up to right now if he is still alive. You know, he's this broken old man. He's like, back in the day, I used to be Roxteasy. Shut up, old man. Your time has passed. He started a rock band. Who's the guy in silhouette? Oh, the person that went in to, like, steal the devil fruit. Well, that person, all we get is, like, the shoulders and the head. The person has a head. Whoever broke into that room has a head. All right. That narrows it down some. Jarvis, access the database. Which One Piece characters have heads? Yes, only 4. Okay, that narrows it down some. Yeah, we don't know. They look like they're wearing a cloak, honestly. They look like they're a big, stocky person wearing a cloak, is how it looks. They don't look like they have horns. We don't see horns in the shadows. Yeah, it looks like some kind of weird hood. Yeah. It's not Vegapunk. Yeah, that's right. It can't be. Yeah, Vegapunk is process of elimination removed. Then again, this was 14 years ago, so he would have had a head, but it would have been a bigger head. All right, so let's go 109 years ago. This is something that Oda... I can't remember. If somebody knows the SBS, let me know. But the idea of the Giants' ages, the way that it usually worked, is Oda did say, I think in an SBS, it might have been a data book, but I'm pretty sure it's an SBS, that you take a giant's age and divide it by 2, and that's sort of the human age they're equivalent to. This changes that to divided by 3, because Harald in this flashback, it says his reign starts at 45 years of age, which is what he is here. However, in human terms, that is only 15. So he's 45 divided by 3, that's 15. In terms of physical appearance, he's 15. He's a teenager that became the king of Elbaf, right? But in giant years, he'd be 45, all right? There is a thing that Oda did say this in. I've seen people like link it to me, but I can't for the life of me remember which one it was. I tried looking it up, and it just like, I'll just mention it, you know. I thought it had been 1/3 for a while at least. It might have been for a while, but there was a point where I think Oda did say it's times 2. It's divided by 2. At least somebody linked me a thing that showed me that. But I couldn't find it, and I just like, you know, maybe I dreamed it up. Maybe it was the Mandela effect. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely 3-1 for Harold. Yeah. It's interesting because I think it might have been a mistake if Oda did say it, and I'm not just imagining it. It might have been a mistake on his part because he did say a few times that giants live to be about 3 times as long as a human. So that would make sense. Yeah. Yeah. But I'd have to go. It's one of those things where it might be in an SBS, but I'd have to go back through like every SBS to check. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the, yeah, it came to me at a source. It came to me in a dream. No, somebody did definitely. Actually, let me see if I could find it. Hold on. Let me see if I could find this. I'm just going to search for Dory and say, okay, hold on a second. 3 times long. It would have been before this. Okay. No. Here we go. Here we go. You're wrong about the giants' age if they were humans. Here's what Oda said about it. SBS volume 19. Okay, here we go. To the records. To the records. All right. SBS volume 19. Not that one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oda Sensei, how old are Dory and Bragi? Well, giants can live up to be about 300 years old, and they mature at about half the rate of normal humans. Okay, that's probably where that came from. They mature at about half the rate of normal humans. That means they reach adulthood at the age of 40. That's a retcon. Oda had to retcon that because it says right here, Harold is 40, 45, and he's like, but he's 15 in human years. It's like, that's not exactly right. So Dory and Bragi were both 58 years old, the equivalent of 29 for, yeah, so right here, Dory and Bragi were both 58, 29. Yeah, so that is a correction. That is a correction because right here, Oda's dividing by 2. Yeah, 58 to 29. So 58 divided by 3 would be 19. So yeah, Oda did change that. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. But I knew I wasn't crazy about that. I knew that was a thing. Yeah. Dory and Bragi were both 58 years old, the equivalent of 29 for humans when they first began fighting on Little Garden. And then that fighting went for 100 years. So that makes them 158 years old. Since they can live for 300 years, they're still in their fighting prime, but they're still a little older than Dr. Kureha. Okay, there you go. So that was maybe the original idea for giants. The original idea was like divide by 2, but now it's clearly divide by 3. Yeah. Yeah. I knew there was something that's like people, because a few people brought that up, and I was just like, I know that's somewhere, but I never actually went down and looked into it. Yeah. Now, it's not really wrong. It's the same thing with, like, Katakuri has a Logia. Wait, no, he doesn't. He has a special paramecia. It's a retcon. It's fine. It's a long-ass story. Do you see how many volumes are over here? It's a long-ass story. Yeah. So wait a minute. By that logic, Jarl is 408 divided by 3. Jarl is a spry 136, which is still younger than Kureha. It doesn't make any practical difference anyway. You're absolutely right. But it's probably going to be something that Oda will mention in the next SBS. Somebody will be like, Oda Sensei. It'll be me. Excuse me, Oda Sensei. You mentioned in volume 19 that yeah, no. Whatever. But I think Oda did, like, eventually, I think, like, eventually, like, even by the time we get to Oimo and Kashi at Eni's lobby, I think they even mention, like, giants live about 3 times longer than a human kind of shit, right? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, dude, that was it was written, like, over 20 years ago. Well, no, it's definitely a different, how is it a retcon, though? Because in the SBS, Oda takes Dorian Broggy's age, 58, and divides it by 2. And he's like, they would be 29 or, yeah, 29 in human years. Here in the chapter, it's now not divided by 2, it's divided by 3. So it's a difference. It is a difference. But it doesn't matter either way. It is a different formula to calculate a giant's age that he's using. Unless this was the error, and then in that case, Harold would be 22, but once again, no functional difference. Yeah. In terms of, like, the way the giants, like Harold is this giant stomping monster. It's just like, yeah, it's whatever. It's going to be a while until we get answers of these chapters. I think this how long is this flashback going to go down? It is 3 minutes. Keep in mind, it's a 3-minute flashback. 3 minutes. Oda already established this beforehand. He's like, hey, guys, no matter how long this flashback gets, 10 chapters, 15 chapters, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. 3 minutes. Yeah. Mountain Beard and Kureha getting together. Oh, dude. What's for dinner tonight? I don't know, but I kind of want tacos now. I want those tacos. Yeah. 3 minutes equal 18 chapters. Yep. 30 chapters. 2 years. We're here for 2 years. The flashback. The rest of the series is just a flashback for some reason. We keep going back. Next chapter, we're going to go 300 years in the past, then 600 years in the past, then the Void Century, then 1,000 years in the past, then 1,500 years in the past, then 2,500 years in the past. How powerful would Obito since he's nerfed with just one eye? I don't know. He can still use Kamui, right? It's just not as good. I mean, Kakashi can use Kamui with one eye. I don't know why we're talking about Naruto questions, but here we are. Yeah. Where have we been going? Oh, we're about an hour and 11 minutes into this. I'm going to start going through some fan mail. I got some fan mail here, and I also have some stuff I got from Japan that I want to show you guys. So, we could do that. We could kind of, like, bounce back and forth with discussions. I think I tackled most of the main stuff I wanted to do with the chapter, and then we're going to be making follow-up videos about that, obviously. So, look forward to that this week. And there's no break this week, thankfully, so we have that. And this is, wait a minute, what week is it? What day is it? It's the 22nd. Happy first day of summer, which was like 2 days ago. Walking in the grass, it's so fine. Don't need shoes in the summertime. I like the parallel that Ruskaina goes through a season a week, while Elbaf seasons might be much longer. Yeah, Ruskaina has like a season every week of the year, so it's like 52 season island or something like that. It's crazy. But this is a little bit different, yeah. Okay, so we first have This will give you an example of how long it's been since I've opened fan mail, or how long I've had fan mail over here. This is a New Year's art piece that a fan sent me. They told me not to use their real name, so I'm just going to call them Jay. All right? But Jay drew this awesome piece of artwork of the New Year's dance party on, I believe it's, he says the program he uses in a second here. I think it's just through, let's say, drawing doodles, whatever dance moves you want. The backgrounds I added from the web and placed on happen to be expert at. The backgrounds I had added from the web and placed on Microsoft Word programs. Okay, cool. I like it. I like it, though. And it features... Thank you, Jay. That's really cool. I'm sorry it took me 6 months to open your letter. It's Homer J. Simpson, yeah. I really like your videos a lot. They are funny and informative, and I have a blast no matter what kind of subject you talk about, even with franchises I have not heard of before watching. I'm collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I do miss the little skits you do sometimes, especially the sock puppet theater. You know, I did a what-if video about Big Mom recently, and I was going to do sock puppet theater with that, and I just didn't. The next what if video, whatever what if video I do, because I used to always do the sock puppets with that. And I have a green screen now. I have this like collapsible green screen I got to use more. And I have an idea for a video I'm going to make, like a series. I don't know how good it'll be, but I have a costume for it. I have the green screen. I want to do this little mini series, and we'll see how it works whenever I get around to it. But yeah, still, you are awesome. It's like Javier the Habanero. It goes into a little bit of how he made it. The concept of this came when you did your Unohana video and you talked about dueling skeletons. So there's like skeletons in the background. Dueling skeletons! Skelebanes! I hope you like it and let me know what the others think. I like to do this special kind of thing for people. I would usually send big-time companies drawings of their products. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's cool. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, respectfully don't use my name. That's fair. And also, Jay sent me some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We have one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Berserker Soul. Berserker Soul. Used in the famous meme when Yugi duels Weevil in the Waking the Dragons arc. We have Jelly Cannon. Gravity Bind, Yami, which I'm so annoyed. Me and Briggs have started doing Yu-Gi-Oh again on Twitch every Tuesdays around 2 o'clock. We play, or I think we're going to do it Wednesdays from now on. Tuesdays or Wednesdays, one or the other. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh on Twitch, and we're starting with the original sets. So we opened LOB, and I got thrashed. I got completely destroyed. But yeah, Briggs got Yami, and he got the Dark Magician. I just got the Dark Magician. Yeah. Monster Cardo. This is one of the most annoying playground staples of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Gravity Bind. That's always fun. Des Volstgaf. Master of Chaos, which is like a really cool fusion of what Dark Magician or Blackluster Soldier. That's fucking cool. And the Immortal Bushi. Mourning the Mortal Body. And I think there's some other ones. Oh, we have a Link monster in here. Nightmare Phoenix. Anarchist Monk of the Six Samurai. Ooh, that's cool. I love the Six Samurai cards. Six Samurai is like my favorite archetype, really. And then Six Samurai United, which I'm definitely going to use that one. Yes. Thank you so much, Jay, for all of that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream when? Wednesday, probably. Wednesdays around 2 on Twitch. Teching 101 Twitch. Also, Briggs ADA on Twitch as well. Also, on the vlog channel, really quick, I think it's actually uploading today is the last episode of the Baldur's Gate streams of the Bark Urge playthrough. I'm finally happy that I have those all done, and they're on the playlist, and I have my complete playlist of the Bark Urge. So for those of you that did not know that was completed, that is completed now. There is a playlist on the main channel through my playlist menu that does have the Bark Urge, like the complete playlist that'll be finished up today. So that was an adventure, yeah. Wouldn't Shanks being a previous God Knight explain how he got to Marineford so quickly? Oh, it might. But then again, that would have been after he had the Abyss Mark removed, if that was in fact the Abyss Mark, which I think it was. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but maybe it did. There's a vlog channel. Yeah, Teching 1001. It's been a while since I mean, I've been using it to like upload the Baldur's Gate streams, but I haven't like uploaded a vlog on it in a while. But anyway, thank you, Jay, for the really cool art. And then, let's see here. Do you think Hyruden will get Conqueror's Haki? I mean, I think Hyruden's going to basically be the new king. I mean, that's essentially what's going to happen. And he's going to turn into Odin. Like in 200 years, Hyruden's going to be still the king, and he's going to be like Odin, like with like long hair, beard, missing an eye, is just the wise king of Elbaf. I think this is Odin, like the younger years, is basically what we're seeing right now with this. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? This is somebody that sent me a comic book, and they sent me a comic book. This is the second edition of this comic. Ooh, okay, hold on. And I can't remember. The name on the package is like a company. It's not like the person's name, and I don't think they sent a note. But a while ago, somebody made a comic book called Relentlessly Bullied Hero, and the artwork is really sick on it. And I have the first volume of this with the rest of my fan mail, my little fan mail area that I keep all that stuff in, and like little shelves and stuff. So I was going through that the other day, like sorting out my fan mail, and I found this, and then I also got the second edition here. So hold on a minute. Actually, let me just open it up and tell you who wrote it or who drew it, because I don't think it has the note, and I don't remember off the top of my head. Sorry, I don't remember the name immediately. I get a lot of stuff, but thank you so much for sending me this, because there's a lot of lot of stuff in here. I love the art style. It's very manga art style. Written by Ken, and the art is by Jose. So thank you so much for that. I'm not sure which one of you. I think it's Ken that actually sent me the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. So in which case, thank you, Ken, for the second edition. Looks really good. It actually looks really kind of good. Yeah, I really like the art style is fucking sick. It reminds me of My Hero Academia a little bit. Really like it. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Are there any updates on One Piece remake? I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything new about the remake in particular. So when the new information drops, if there's something like tangible enough to make like a solid video on, if it's like a big deal, then I'll make a video about that. Clearly. Did you open my package? Yours is going to be next, Amanda. Yours is coming up right next. I have it right down here. Okay, I'm going to throw that over there. That's empty. It's just an empty box. There's nothing in here. It's just an empty box. Okay, put that over there. Put that over there. Okay. All right, so this is from Amanda. And, wait, which angle did I... Wait, hold on a minute. Imagination. There we go. Okay. A lot of stuff in here. Got that. Got that. I'm just being very careful about the box because I don't want like addresses and stuff to be shown. Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. You should consider live streaming a playthrough of... oh, yeah, Expedition 33. A lot of people have been saying Expedition 33 is a really good game, and I've been looking at some gameplay of it, and it looks really fun. So maybe that'll be the next thing I do. If I do that, it is probably going to be on Twitch, I would assume. How do you think One Piece world will become after the big war? Will they choose a new king, or the government will fall and become an anarchist pirate world? So the anarchist pirate world is kind of like what Kaido wanted or Blackbeard wants. I have no idea what what the structure is going to be afterwards. Like, Dragon wants the world government to stick around. Like, he doesn't hate the structure of it necessarily. It's just the main problem is the fucking dipshit celestial dragons that are the ones that are doing everything, right? So I don't really, yeah, they're going to be abolished. They're going to be taken care of. Not sure how. But then we'll see where it goes from there, I guess. All right, hold on. Let me read this letter first. Okay, got a lot of stuff in here. You always give me so many tchotchkes, Amanda. Oh, I got some stickers. We got, like, Robin and Frankie stickers, my favorite Straw Hats. There we go. Thank you. Oh, you got autographs for me. That's cool. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Depending on when you open this, Happy Groundhog Day, no. Happy Random Act of Kindness Day, no. Happy Mardi Gras, no. Happy St. Patrick's Day, no. Happy April Fool's Day, no. Happy Easter, Happy Earth Day, Happy Birthday, Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't think that one has happened yet. I think Talk Like a Pirate Day is in December. I think that one hasn't happened yet. Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day, me hearties. Ah, yes, it be my favorite holiday of the yar. That is when Roger was born. On the great day of Talk Like a Pirate Day. He came out of his mama's womb talking like a pirate. Wah! Wah, marm. My. All right. Anyway. Yes, let's see. First off, thank you. I wanted to give you a proper thank you for doing the Charlotte Pudding collab video with me. Yes, that was Amanda. And Amanda, go check her out over on YouTube. She's right here in the chat right now. We did a pudding video together. That was quite fun to make. So you're going to be working on the leaders and rulers of Wano for a while, and there's so many Wanos to talk, so many Wano leaders to talk about. All the scabbards and the Yakuza leaders. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Wano has there's 150 chapters of Wano, and there's so much of the social structure of that place that I feel like Oda probably has a mountain of notes on that never really got to show throughout the story, because it's One Piece isn't really a story like Game of Thrones about political intrigue and shit like that. You know what I mean? Working on Kawamatsu's video now. Kawamatsu's great. He's my favorite scabbard. Also working on video reviews of non-Disney Pixar animated movies. Probably not going to join, probably not anything like that. Because there's also a good chunk of those movies I have never seen before in my entire life. It's just like, oddly enough, like there's a good chunk of movies I've never seen. Secondly, stickers. I found some stickers right here. Now, the rest of this letter is meant to be interactive with the boxes I sent you. Okay, so let's see what we got here. First, the devil fruit box, which is the devil fruit box over here. Number 1, devil fruit box. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got a bunch of these. All right. I think I'm up to date on all the ones we know their full designs for. Okay. So we have the clone fruit. Oh, yeah, because we got information on what these actually look like. And so Amanda makes these, and they are really fucking cool. They're these cool pixel art things. So this is the Mane Mane no Mi. This is Mr. Two's Bon Clay. And then we also have... This one is the Goro Goro no Mi. Well, there's two of these. Hold on, they're like tied together here. This is the Goro Goro no Mi. This is Eneru's. And then this is the Supa Supa no Mi, which is Mr. Ones. I like this one. This is really cool. This is Mr. Ones, and also S Hawk has this devil fruit right here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that one. It's like little blades, like little razor blades you have to eat. Oh, this is the cheetah. Not the cheetah, it's the leopard. I always want to say cheetah, but it's a leopard. This is the leopard zone that Lucci has. This is Perona's Horo Horo no Mi, because it looks like little ghosts. This is Boa Hancock's Melo no Mi, the love fruit with the little hearts. After Ivankov, what if video got me what was I thinking? What if happened if Ace knew enough about armament hockey? Dude, that fucking Ivankov video opens up, like, so many parallel timelines on, like, because it changes something so important 38 years ago in the story's timeline that, like, there's so many things people were talking about at that point. Like, well, would Odin still be the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates? Would Blackbeard have even, like, killed Thatch? Like, how would Ace have even been a member of the Whitebeard? Like, how would this even have went? And it's like, it really is crazy when you think about all the implications there. This is the yo-yo. This is Sugar's Hobby no Mi. Yeah. The little yo-yo wind-up toy thing. This is Leo's Stitch fruit. I love this one because it's like a rainbow color. That's really cool. I like that. And then this is, this is Orochi's. I am Lord Orochi, and this is my devil fruit, the Yamato no Orochi devil fruit, which is back in circulation now. I am Lord Orochi! Who's going to get the Orochi zone next? Thank you, Amanda, for all of that. I'm going to be very careful in putting the rest of these back in the box here, because they're like perler bead art. Do not want those to get damaged. Someone's spamming in the chat. Hold on, I'll get to that. I'll get to it in a moment. Oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm timing you out for 5 minutes. Don't spam. There you go. All right. Such a wasted fruit. Yeah, the fruit that gives you 9 lives, or I guess 8 lives. I guess 9 because plus your own life. 9 live fruit wasted on a really, really lame character. But I think that's kind of the point. It's just he's really annoying to kill. Oda just wanted to draw him dying 9 times is basically the idea. All right, so there's that. Okay, put that up there. Okay. Next, the original devil fruits. That's this one. Okay. Ah, sticky. I actually, when I was at that Pride Festival yesterday, we were looking at a stand of a bunch of, like, buttons and things, and a fan actually came up to me, and he's like, "Oh my god, teching!" and started talking to me about, like, a devil fruit idea that he had about, like, a sound paramecia. Like, not like, I think I actually might have been more of, like, a sound logia kind of thing, like sound waves as a logia. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So, hey, if you're watching this, nice to meet you, man. Yeah, that was really cool. We took a picture together. Yeah. Randomly, whenever you meet me out in the wild, that's how it goes. All right, so we have Ancient Zone Devil Fruit, Gorgonsopia. Allows the user to become either a full, I do not know the name of this species of I'm thinking dinosaur. A large carnivorous theracipid, mammal-like reptiles that lived 275 million years ago prior to the dinosaurs. Oh, it's during the Permian. During the Permian. I know about the Permian. That's when the Great Dying happened, which is like the most metal name for an extinction event ever. It's the Great Dying. They were named after the mythical Gorgons from Greek mythology. That's pretty cool. So here we go. We have this. Yes. Yeah, it was before the dinosaurs. That's crazy. Yeah, let me check this out here. What do these things look like? I think, wait, if these are the things I think, oh, are these the things with the giant frills? Hold on a second. Hold on. No, they're those things. Yeah. I've seen these fucking things before. These things were fucking crazy. They were like, saber-toothed cats, kind of, but like, let me show you what they looked like. Yeah, I've seen these things before. There were some weird animals that lived in the Permian that were, like, not quite dinosaur yet, but, like, getting there, kind of. This one's not really so much dinosaur, but, like, it looked kind of like this. It was fucking crazy. Yeah. There's some other ones that looked more like rhinoceroses, I think, that had more, like scaly skin. Kind of like this shit. Like, right here. Yeah, these kind of things right here. They're crazy looking. Do I play Magic the Gathering? Not really. Rusted showed me how to play, but I don't play that much. And then this is the Bato Batonomi model Madagascan Flying Fox. So it's a special kind of... That is a really sick design for a devil fruit. I really love this. I mean, like, if you were to eat this, you wouldn't immediately think bat. You would think bat, but I think this turns like if this was the devil zone, that would make sense. If this was the fruit Emu ate, that would make total sense. Like, this looks like the devil zone right here. All you're missing is like the little, like the tail that comes off of it, and that's like the fucking devil zone. My nephew made that. Oh my god, that's so cool. That is a cool devil fruit. Yeah. They're both devil fruit zones, and they explain that each one, okay. And then finally, the special box, after reading this part, I went to the Omaha Pop Expo in January and met my VAs for My Hero Academia and One Piece. I got to meet John Gramillion, who plays Mihawk, and Gentle from My Hero, Gentle Criminal. And John Swasey, who plays Crocodile in All for One. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love that dude's voice. That dude does fucking villains so well, you know? So we got this special box here, and this is... Oh, that's sweet. Oh my god, you actually got the voice actors to give me, like, birthday messages. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool. Thank you, Amanda. All right, to Teching 101. This is from Mihawk's voice actor. Happy birthday. I know it's not October 14th yet, but happy Mihawk Day. Oh my god, the guy that knows about Mihawk Day. Mihawk's voice actor knows about Mihawk Day now. Shit, I got to get back into that. I've been kind of getting lazy with Mihawk Day the last couple of years. Holy shit. We got to make Mihawk Day now. Oh my god, that's a national Mihawk Day. It's a holiday now. The voice actor knows about it. Fuck. They were both so nice. I'm sure they are. Yeah, I've never had a bad experience with like a voice actor at any anime convention ever. They're always really nice. Yeah. I told him about it. I'm sure you told him about it, but now he knows. Now I have to make videos on October 14th about Mihawk. Okay, shit. What's going to be Mihawk's video this year? Actually, I already know. I already know what Mihawk's video is going to be. I'm going to make a video about him being the Marine hunter back in the day. So don't worry. I'll get some artwork for this. I'll commission some artwork for some really cool Mihawk cutting a Marine in half or some shit in the thumbnail. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Right? Or maybe, okay. Maybe Mihawk with a sword going up against like Sengoku or Kong or Garp or something like that. That would be sick. That would be cool. Yeah. And I also have the beard now, so maybe I could try the cosplay that everybody was telling me about. Yeah. Okay, and then we also have good luck in figuring out the secrets of Crocodile's past and the new plan for the new age on the seas. And that's Crocodile's and All for One's voice actor right there. That's pretty fucking cool. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was so sweet. That was so nice of you. Yes. The autograph. That is so cool. I love those. I'm going to put those... I might get those framed, actually. I might get those framed and then figure out some space on my wall that I haven't used yet and put them somewhere. But thank you so much for all of that. Let's see. I made you a mini Yoru and got John Gramillion to sign the tag for it. Yeah, they just like also put what like they wrote on there, yeah. They did a panel that we attended and asked questions at. For full details, see my video on the expo, so that can be on Amanda's channel, so go check that out. And Amanda. Also, someone asked him if he thought that All for One was Izuku's dad. He said he didn't know, but even without being prompted, he added that. I don't know if Crocodile's Luffy's mom either. That's great. See, that's like, I imagine if you are a voice actor that, like, probably knows a little bit about the characters, but you also got to remember that, like, voice actors usually voice a lot of fucking characters, right? Like, it isn't just, like, one guy from one character from one story, right? So they probably don't know every little thing about every little theory. So, like, it must be so interesting to some people, like, sitting down and somebody asking them a question, like, do you think Crocodile's Luffy's mom? And then it'd be like, what? Oh, you don't know about that theory? And then he hears about the Ivankov theory. He'd be like, I don't know. I'm just the voice actor. I'm just the guy that voices him. I don't know. Techie, you're my dream in a blunt rotation. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Teching on weed would be nuts. I don't know how I would be on weed. I also don't know how I would be drunk either. Oh, man. That's really funny, though. Thank you so much, Amanda, for all of that stuff. Yes, I will put this aside for right now. And this is an empty envelope. I'll put this in there. I'm trying to keep everything organized, but that's really hard to do because I'm scattered shit all over the... There we go. All right. So, we'll put that there. Okay, teching would be very quiet on CW. I don't know what that is. My one friend has those Zyn things, those nicotine pouches, and he just, you know, loves using those things. But yeah, I don't do drugs, okay? This is nothing morally against it. I just don't happen to usually do them. Bogard video when? There has to be a Bogard video at some point. All right. Thank you for all of that stuff. I have some postcards. People sent me some postcards. I have one postcard from Japan, and I think this was before I went to Japan. Hey, Matt, Japan has been rad. It's like, hold on a second. It's just a little bit hard to read. It's like real life anime. I can't, okay, to be fair, yeah, when you are in Japan, it does kind of feel like that sometimes. Like, not all the time, but you will be walking around Japan, and then sometimes you will see a giant Gundam. And it's like, oh, giant Gundam next to the cherry blossoms, and it's like, yeah. This is like I am in Gundam or Evangelion or fucking Code Geass right now. Like, you do feel vibes of that occasionally as you're just walking around Japan. Yes. You also, I'll tell you the thing that I felt the most like when I was in Japan. I totally got Persona games when I was in Japan. The idea of going to the train station and traveling to the different areas, and like, I was like, I get it now. I get it what all the Persona games are based off of now. I get the vibes. I get the vibes. That was the number one thing. That was like, I'm just in a Persona game now. I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. Yep. So that was the number one thing. But I saw a bunch of cosplayers at Universal Studios Osaka. Didn't go to Osaka, but next time I go, I want to go. Thanks for being such a good friend and guest on the show. Thank you. It's Danny or Dari? Oh, I can't. Hold on a second. David. Oh my God, I was missing the D. There was a sticker covering up the D. It was like Davi? Duvy? It was like, oh, David. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. I know who this is from. Thank you, David. Social link. Go. All right. Then we have a duck. Will you ever make a video about the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess manga by Akira Himakawa? From Xander. Oh, it's from Zane's brother, Xander. No, I probably won't. But I didn't know there was a Twilight Princess manga, and I've only played like an hour of Twilight Princess, but not because I did not like it. I did like it. It was because I played it on the Wii with the Wii controllers. And the room that I was growing up in, my childhood bedroom that I originally played Twilight Princess on, was not conducive to using the Wii. I could have just bought another controller, but I didn't. I could have bought the GameCube version, but I didn't. So if I ever play Twilight Princess again, I'm probably going to get the GameCube version and play that one like normally. That's probably the way. Or if they ever re-release it. Have they ever re-released Twilight Princess in any other capacity? If they ever re-release it for the Switch 2 or something, I guess I'm going to have to get a Switch 2. But yeah. I'm sure the manga is cool. I just probably won't talk about it because it's just not a One Piece thing. Yeah. The GameCube controller is so underrated. Love the GameCube controller. Use the Wii. Get some exercise on that. Matt's middle initial is D. It's not. It kind of rhymes with D, though. All right. So speaking of Japan, let me go through some stuff that I got while I was in Japan. So I don't think I have any more FANMAIL. No. All right. So first up is just a bunch of random shit. So there's One Piece stores in Japan. There's like a lot of them. Artur told me there were like over 10 or so. I went to one specifically, like gotta go to the One Piece store, gotta get a bunch of One Piece merch, and we did, and I got a bunch. But then just by happen chance, because we were in other locations, we ended up at 2 more of them. And I'm like, how many of these are there? There's a lot. There are a lot of One Piece stores. Actually, let me see if I can find, I think there was the picture I have on my computer here of me in the One Piece. Hold on a minute here. Not that one. Yeah, here we go. Where's the one with me in the One Piece store? I think it was the following day after that. Yeah, here we go. That was the Sky Tree. Oh, where was it? It was before that. That was the Ghibli store. By the way, the Ghibli store next to the Sky Tree was really fucking cool. Yeah. Got a lot of stuff there. There's the Kirby Cafe. There's a Kirby Cafe! Me wearing my stupid hat. It's not a stupid hat. It's an LA Dodgers hat. Yeah. But, like, yeah, there we go. Next to a Kirby Cafe. Where is the ones we were in the One Piece store? I don't know. I don't know if I can find them here. Oh, there they are. Here they are. Here they are. Here they are. Okay, there we go. There's me at there's me out and about in Japan. At the Harajuku One Piece store. There's Harajuku Chopper. See a really cool, all these rotations are wrong, but whatever. This is Luffy. I want this so bad. This is not a figurine. This is 6 feet tall. There would be like no space for me to put this in my bedroom or in my office, but I want this so bad. I want this in my background so bad, right? Like, this is so fucking cool. Yep. Nat teching in my natural habitat. Anyway, so they had all the Straw Hats in like little mini plushie form, like sushi roll kind of things. So here's Zoro plushie. Even has his little swords off to the side. Isn't that nice? They even had care to actually, like, the swords are his actual swords. Isn't that cool? Yeah, yeah. Little plushie Zoro. Okay. We got a Frankie keychain. I got one of these from my friends too, but this one for me. Frankie keychain. We got, this was actually out of a gacha machine. There were a lot of gacha machines. There's so many gacha machines. I got Roger's hat out of a gacha. It's a little keychain thing. I got Roger's hat. And then this is a gacha I haven't even opened. So let's open it here, live on screen. I'm going to try to use my box cutter and hope I don't slice myself. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. What is this one? This is a One Piece figure. It's it's Kuzan. We got Kuzan out of a gacha. There we go. I think I've had these before. I think a fan of mine sent me a Rukia and an Ichigo, one of these ones that I put together. Actually, the first thing I ever really did in Japan, one of the first things we did was me and Arthur were walking around Chiba. And there was a gacha machine of Bleach, of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and that was the first gacha machine I used. And I got Ichibei Hyosubi, and I actually put him on my backpack, and he's still on my backpack, I think. Yeah. Because I noticed a lot of people in Japan walking around with, like, backpacks and things, and with a bunch of, like, gacha charms on the backs, and I was like, oh, okay, I want to be like that, too. So I put a bunch on my backpack. Kuzan. Marine version Kuzan. Hold on a second. Oh, maybe it's like this. Or like this. I don't know. There's only 3 pieces to this, but it's so confusing. What's Chiba? Chiba's an area of... I don't know if it's part of Tokyo, but it's a little bit outside of Tokyo. It's like an hour outside of Tokyo. There he is. There's a little thing to get him to stand up, but... Nothing is... Wait a minute. Does that fit in there? No? How about that one? There we go. Kind of. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, there we go. Chiba is just small. Yeah. Well, we were going to a Star Wars convention, and it was in Chiba, which is why we stayed there. Yeah. Took about an hour. Like, next year when we go back, it's probably going to be a situation where I'm going to get a hotel, like, in Tokyo itself, or maybe Akihabara or something like that. Shinjuku. We'll figure it out. I'm not going back until probably, like, spring of next year, so, you know, there's a lot of time to plan. All right, what else do we have here? We have a copy of Shonen Jump. I, of course, had to buy the newest copy of Shonen Jump when I was in Japan, which was also the copy where the manga Nice Prison debuted, so that was the cover there. By the way, every other magazine that is a manga magazine that has manga in it, aside from Shonen Jump is the one that looks the one out of place because it actually has manga characters on it. All the other ones have, like, gravure models on them. Like, no kidding. Like, we went to a book stand. We went over to the manga area of this book stand, and, like, you see Shonen Jump sitting there like you would expect, and then every other cover from every other magazine that has manga in it, or at least most of them. There were a few others that looked like Shonen Jump. But every single other one of them was just a woman with big boobs in a, you know, bathing suit or in lingerie, and it was like... Well, I could see their demographic, and Arthur was, like, explaining, like, yeah, it's kind of like clickbait, because, you know, it's like teenage boys that are buying, like, that's what shonen means, you know, it's like, that's the demographic, so it's like, hey, boobs, buy that magazine. It's just like, and there's just like manga inside and shit. It's like, it's crazy. It's insane. Oh, man. Have you seen any Kamen Rider stuff? Yeah, I saw a lot of Kamen Rider stuff in Akihabara. Yeah. No, it was just something I didn't expect. You know, you go to a newsstand, like a book stand, and it's just like 10 magazines lined up with, like, busty gravure models, and then Shonen Jump at the end. It's just like, okay. That's marketing for you. I mean, hey, you got to get people to pick up. But the problem is, like, they all look the same, though. It's like, you know, busty lingerie model, busty bikini model, busty lingerie model. And it's like, they all kind of, like, you know, which one? I guess you have your favorites, I suppose. You know, oh, she has a red bikini, or she has a blue bikini, I suppose. But, like, yeah, that's marketing for you, man. That's marketing, yeah. Anyway, so I got Shonen Jump. And then we also got a bunch of other random stuff here. Let's see. We got, from the Kirby stuff, I got Kirby. And I haven't even opened this one yet. Kirby! Hi! What's up, Turking? Not much, just opening fan mail, and then I think we'll be going through some super chats, and then, oh, sweet, I got Meta Knight! Fuck yeah! Meta Knighto. I'll tell you, I might make a Chess Kuromarimo video someday. I made a video about shoes, so it's not completely out of the realms of possibility, but nothing's planned, like, immediately on the moment. All right, anyway. We got Meta Knighto. Meta Knight. Remember Meta Knight from the Kirby Right Back At Ya story? Remember that? Remember that old show on 4Kids back in the day? Yeah, he talked like a Spanish conquistador. Loved it. Yeah. Love Meta Knight. All right. This one is... Oh, this is a Don-da-don. This is from the Don-da-don. Don-da-don, Don-da-don, Don-da-don. Gotcha. Hold on a minute. Let me just get the tape off of that. And then we got... it's Ira. You ever see Don to Don? We got Ira. Yeah, there we go. Meta Knight was in Smash. I love using Meta Knight in Smash. I don't like a huge Smash Brothers, like, you know, I don't play it that much. I'm not that good, but I usually will play like Kirby or Meta Knight. Okay, and then we got, oh, this is from a Death Note one. I was kind of disappointed these weren't the finger puppets that Nier uses in Death Note. I thought that's what these were. They're not. They're just figures. There's like, yeah, there's no, I tried to turn this one into a finger puppet, but it's not, easier said than done, kind of. Like, it kind of works on the pinky, but not really. But yeah, this was the Nier one that I got. Yeah. And then this is from I got in the Ghibli store. This is from Howl's Moving Castle. Shit. This is the little wheel that is in Howl's Castle, which I need to watch Howl's again. I had a friend that read the Howl's manga, or like the book. I think it's like based off of a book, and apparently like the relationship between Hal and Sophia in the book is very different. Or was it just Sophie? It might have been just Sophie. But like, yeah, apparently it's very different from the Ghibli version. Okay, so there's that. Then we also have... oh, yeah, this is actually really cool. So you know how in Kumamoto they have the statues of the Straw Hats? So I didn't, unfortunately, get a chance to go to Kumamoto because it was very far away from where we were staying. It would have been like a 4 or 5 hour like Shinkansen ride over to Kumamoto, and we weren't staying very long. So like maybe next time we could go down there. But yeah, Kumamoto has all the One Piece statues because Oda, he's from Kumamoto, and he donated a lot of money for the disaster relief after the tsunami hit and everything like that. So you can't, I couldn't see the statues themselves, but they sell the little miniature versions of these statues at the One Piece stores. So, of course, I had to buy Robin's, right? So I got Robin's here. You actually have to assemble it. But, yeah, I bought Robin's little statue here. Thank you for all the great videos. Thank you, Michael. Watching you for over 10 years, man. I'll keep it up. Keep talking about One Piece until it ends. And then even after it ends, I'll keep talking about it. And then after everyone's forgotten about it and we've moved on from One Piece, I'll still keep talking about it. Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to forget about One Piece. I feel like One Piece is going to be taught in schools and, like, great literature in, like, 100 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is this was a really cool thing. Whoa! There is a crushed spider under this. Sorry, spider. Crushed under the weight of fan mail. All right, anyway. R.I.P. Spider. We have this cool marine chart, right? So it's like a nice little chart of all the Marines' ranks and stuff. You can kind of see here. Yeah. And I love how, like, so Sakazuki's on top. Kong is up here. Sengoku's off to the side. Vegapunk's over here. Sword has its own little special group over here. Chart! And then Kuzan's way off here off to the side. Kuzan is like, I left. So you get to see, like, a lot of the different, like, Marines and stuff. Like, Doll is on here. Obviously, not all of them are on here, but Brand New is on here, and Tashigi, and Hibari, and Helmeppo. It is like the officer rank, so it only goes down to here. Yeah. But I like it. I like the little chart thing. Yeah. So I think that's all the fan mail I have this time. Thank you all for sending me it. There is a fan mail address in the description of all my videos. It should still be down there if you'd like to send me something. No spiders were harmed in the making of this stream. That spider was already dead. That spider was already dead. It probably died when I threw a box on top of it or something, so I was probably indirectly responsible for killing it. Sorry. Literally the second best selling comic ever, first by a single author, leaving its mark. Oh yeah, like there's no way that One Piece just like, well, One Piece is over, doop doop doobie doo. Like there's a lot of great manga that had their time in the sun and people really liked, and just like I don't think they're gonna be super remembered like in a long time from now, but like One Piece is sort of the exception to that. You gotta understand. I mean, this was like a 30-year long adventure. Same thing with Conan. Like I don't think Conan is just gonna fade away. I don't think JoJo's would just fade away. JoJo's is really like that's also going to be taught about later, and like at least in the very least in 100 years in like great comic book like literature and stuff like that, you're going to be talking about like JoJo's and One Piece at the very least, right? Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to go check out some super chats, and we can answer those. And then after that, I think I'm going to head off and get some lunch. Will I have tacos? Maybe. Let's see here. Plans on reviewing Dandadan and Demon Slayer. Probably not Demon Slayer, but I might make a video on Dandadan. I know the second season's coming out soon, right? Have you ever played the new Bleach fighting game? Yes. Yes, I played the new fighting game. I got up to the Soul Society arc, and I haven't gotten really much beyond that, but I have been playing it. I really enjoyed it. It's just like, I enjoyed it as much as I would normally enjoy a fighting game. I'm not that into fighters. I bought Bleach because Rebirth of Souls is like, it's, you know, it's the Bleach fighting game. It's the Bleach game we've been waiting for a while, so I had to get it. And I did like it. It's just, I'm more into like turn-based RPG kind of shit. I'm not really into like fighting games. Same thing with like the DBZ Fighters, or the one that came out recently. I bought the newest one. I just don't remember what it's called right now. Let's see. How do you think One Piece world would become after the big war? Oh, after they will choose a new king or the government will fall. World government, I think, is going to stay. Celestial dragons would be abolished. I don't think they would want a king, considering they found out that, like, well, we thought that there was a committee ruling the world, but it was actually a single ruler. So they're going to probably try to avoid that from the future. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Yeah. After Ivankov, What If video got me thinking about what would happen if Ace knew about... Oh, I talked about that one already. Yeah, but there's a lot of follow-up videos just to the Ace one because there's a lot of stuff that happened there. I think I answered most of these, actually. Would Shanks being a previous God Knight explain how he got to Marineford so quickly? Maybe, but if he lost the Abyss Mark, I don't think he'd be able to teleport at the very least. I got to check out Expedition 33. Yeah. Scopper did say, be mindful of your conquerors, Haki. That's the start of Scopper's hockey training. Yeah. I feel like in a situation like this, though, he could have just been like, Luffy, use conquerors like this. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. Focus your hockey in one point and punch really hard. I'd be like, all right, I can do that. You know, but whatever. Close enough. Did you eat the Goro Goro jam I sent you? Yes, it was a little while ago. I remember that, but I did enjoy it. Yes, I used it on, I think it was just a piece of toast. Yes, I remember I used a little bit on the piece of toast. Yeah, it was a little spicy, but I enjoyed it. Yes, thank you. I like spice. We were at that festival yesterday. My friend got this chicken from one of the vendors, and I tried it, and the heat built, and it was like, it was hard to describe, but it was like the perfect level of heat that was like good for me. You know what I mean? Because I like things like, I like things decently hot beyond like jalapeno level. Like jalapeno level doesn't really do it for me. I got to go a little bit higher than that, but then you start getting into like, I couldn't do like ghost pepper shit. Like that's way too high. Somewhere around that, maybe around habanero level, maybe slightly lower than that is kind of where I'm at. And this chicken yesterday that I had was right around that level, and that was also, if I'm remembering correctly, it was right around that as well. It was really good. I answered the one about Obito, so yeah, I think I got all these. Yeah. You think there's going to be another time skip? There might be a time skip in weird time dilation stuff. But beyond that, I'm not sure. Nah, I don't think there's going to be another, like, 2-year time skip. There'll be, like, an epilogue, probably. Like, we skip 10 years in the future. Now we skip 20 years in the future. I'd actually like if Oda did that. I would really like if Oda did 10 years later, 20 years later, 50 years later, 100 years later, 1,000 years later. And then that's where we end. I would love that. I don't think Luffy's going to go save Garp. I don't think so. The perfect pepper is habanero. I've had habanero before, and I feel like it was a little bit too spicy for me. So a little bit lower than habanero. Let's look at the Scoville scale really quick here. Compared to the peppers. Yeah, here it is. The Scoville. Named after Bob Scoville. Actually, I don't know. I think the guy's name was Scoville, but I don't think his first name was Bob. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm definitely, okay, I was like, where's habanero? Yeah, habanero and jalapeno, there's a gap between those two. I'm going to go with the Thai pepper. Or maybe cayenne. Yeah, cayenne is a good amount of heat. I would probably put myself somewhere between cayenne and Thai. Somewhere between 50K and 100K is probably where I'm going to top out at as like, I am enjoying this heat. I am enjoying the flavor. I'm enjoying the taste of this thing without being an absolute like agony, right? Going any probably fire than that is probably going to be like, yeah, torture. Yeah. Cayenne Sheba. Cayenne pepper. But yeah, I've used cayenne pepper in a lot of things, and I can handle that for sure. Then again, I've never had, like, fresh cayenne pepper. I've just had, like, you know, the seasonings. But it's hot. Cayenne pepper it can pack a punch. I just had a premonition. You did, in fact, have tacos for lunch. All right, I guess I'm ordering tacos for lunch. All right, I guess. There's a really good Mexican restaurant around here. So, like, that's fine with me. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty good. There's going to be a lot of breakdowns about a lot of extra stuff, obviously. What should we talk about? What video do you want me to talk about first? Let's do that, and then I could do that one maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. Do we want to talk about Shanks? I know Grand Line Review. I know Liam just made a video today. Right when I was getting on to do this, I know Liam put out a video like, Shanks is the destined child. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably going to have to talk about that at some point too. Do we want to talk about Loki? Do we want to talk about Harold's past? Do we want to talk about time dilation bullshit? Yeah. Do we want to talk about Harold? So let's just do a poll here. Let's do another poll. It's like, okay, what video will be next? Let's do that. That's actually not a bad thing. Okay, so King Harold. This will involve Domi Reversi and his past. This will kind of cover everything involving Harold. Harlad. Lardlad. Harold. There we go. Shanks, and this will involve Tattoo and Chosen One. You know, add option. This will be so Loki joining the Straw Hats. Maybe we'll talk about his devil fruit a little bit here. See if he's the one that took it, or if he does have a devil fruit. I got to go back and check some stuff on that. What else? Oh, Zoro Conquerors, yeah. Zoro. I'll just put Zoro and Sanji Conquerors, because that'll probably be talking about both of their stuff there. All right, there we go. I think those are 4 good, solid videos that I would probably make. So just, like, vote. Vote now, and then we'll find out the order in which I talk about these, probably. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, yeah, we're still talking about Lord of the Rings. It's been like almost 100 years since fucking Tolkien wrote The Hobbit. He wrote it in like 1934. We're not like 90 years out from that. Alexa, when was The Hobbit first published?
The Hobbit was published on September 21st, 1937.
37, okay. All right. What do we got here on the poll? It seems like Shanks' video has been the takeaway. So the next video will be about Shanks as voted by you, the viewers. Did you guys see the last episode of The Amazing Digital Circus? That was so good. the votes. You know what? I like Jax and Pomni are kind of hanging out together. That's kind of nice. I like that. I like that combo. All right, Shanks, and then it seems like it's between King Harold or Loki. So I'll write King Harold and then Loki after. And then it seems like Zoro and Sanji is... No, well, actually, no. Zoro Sanji's higher than that now. So shit, Zoro Sanji, and then okay, then the King Harold and Loki. All right. It'll be a Shanks video next though, because that seems to be the runaway. That seems to be we're like Luffy. We want to hear about Shanks. We want to hear about Shanks. Like, all right, we'll talk about Shanks. All right, thanks for voting, everybody. And the time situation. We could definitely do a video about the time dilation thing. That's more of like a thing that I really want to be true, but we could talk about this. Yeah, are we doing Shanksgiving this year? We could do Shanksgiving this year. And Mihawk Day. We have to make sure. Mark your calendars. October 14th, Mihawk Day. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Teching signing out. You have a good rest of your day. I hope your day is filled with delicious food, possibly tacos. Later, everyone. See you tomorrow or Tuesday. Whenever I come out with the next. See you on the next video. Bye, because I am horrible at schedules. Bye.